water is abundant in the Mekong compared with the other basin. And the topography also, they have mountain and hilly area. So therefore, they have a high potential of hydropower. And hydropower have not been developed much yet, because before, in particular in Laos and Vietnam, because of the war, and also in China, because of the Western China was not well developed like in the Eastern China. So therefore, last few years, hydropower has been developed very much in the Mekong. First, the Chinese they built a number of dams for reservoir in the upstream, what we call upper Mekong. And then a number of hydropower have been built in the lower Mekong, including Thailand, Laos, and Vietnam, and now starting in Cambodia.
And there are many new dams planned.
Yes, they have like a few hundred projects that in the tributary and also in the mainstream.
Now, these developments must worry the downstream countries, particularly Cambodia, which has Tonle Sap, the huge lake there, and Vietnam.
Yeah.
Are they happy about what's going on?
They have they concern about the impact. There are the number of impact. First is the changing of the flow regime, but the flow regime change is on positive side. For example, less flood. The flood will be lower because of regulation of the reservoir and more water in the dry season. But on the other hand, there are other concerns. First, about the sediment trapping by the reservoir. So there will be less sediment come into the Mekong. Second, about the fishery, because the dam, in particular the mainstream dam, will block the migration route of the specific species for fish in the Mekong. And then the ecosystem, when the flow regime changes, the ecosystem will change also. So these are the concerns of downstream country purpose dam.
And there are some well-recognized international processes now, guidelines from the World Commission on Dams about how you go about planning this, that you need transparency, that you need to involve people. Do you think the processes by which these dams are being planned and built is adequate at the moment?
At the moment, the process is going on more and more. We see that the civil society involved more in the decision, and in particular with the support from the media, we have more stronger and stronger voice. But then the decision still top down from the government, and also influenced by the arrangement of the developer, hydropower developer. But it is more on the context of the whole economy development of the country rather than only hydropower alone. So if we look into that process or that wider context, then we can see that it improves, but not perfect yet, but it improves gradually, year by year.
So in Laos, for instance, which is essentially a one-party state with limited freedoms, perhaps for the media or for NGOs to organize, are you seeing much action in terms of civil society protest or people getting involved in this decision-making process?
We have a number of international NGO and also Lao NGO, and in particular also NGO in Thailand, who have a protest about the dam, in particular mainstream dam. Because they worry that whenever we build one dam in the mainstream, then a series of 11 dams will be built, and that will influence a loss on the mainstream. In fact, even one-party country like Laos, but the government and the party still listen to people. It is not explicitly expressed that the government or the party has to follow the opinion or pay attention very much to opinion of people, but implicitly they have a network to get the comment and the opinion of the people from the local community up to the higher level in the administrative.
Now, in the last few weeks, we've had the major announcement that the Shaiburi Dam, which is one of the biggest dams, I believe, on the river, is now going to go ahead. When people look at dams, it's not simply the structure itself, it is how it is going to be managed that often matters a lot. Are those management regimes in place yet, or is that still to be developed?
That is a complexity case because that is the first dam in the lower Mekong country. There have been many mainstream dams have been built by China, by Chinese at upper Mekong, but it is the first one in the mainstream in the lower Mekong country. So the management and how it works still, I think that's still not clear yet, because the main electricity will be exported to Thailand, but the dam and the power plant built in Laos. So, and Laos have abundance of water. They have only, in terms of territory, Laos area only about 25% of the Mekong basin, but they contribute 35% of water. So Laos have more water than other countries, and in terms of topography, as I mentioned, Laos have an advantage of that. So Laos, some call that Laos will be the battery of Southeast Asia of the Mekong. So the development of hydropower in Laos, in fact, is not only for Laos, but it's support to the economy of the other country around also. Thailand, in particular Thailand now, and in the future can be Vietnam and China and other countries.
So there's huge potential for development there.
Yes, so, and then in terms of management, we have to consider how the whole network will be managed. Because, for example, one existing reservoir built Nam Thun 2, mainly export electricity to Thailand. And recently, they accomplished another Nam Ngum 2, which also export to Thailand. So the operation of the dam is managed by IGAT in Bangkok, not in Laos. So because it depends on the demand of electricity, then the operation will follow this. So this needs a rational coordination rather than just one country.